Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2023, right?
2023.
NADA with the infamous Dave Foy and Charity Dunning. No, listen, I got to tell you something before we get started. We got a few questions. We're going to cut it up and have a little bit of fun. But I met him about 2 years ago.
About that? Yeah.
No,
it was more than that.
It was like 3.
More than that.
This guy, he's very humble, tremendous character and integrity, but he has taught me and introduced me to so many people in fixed operations, the wealth of information and knowledge I get from being regularly involved in what's called a couple different things now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what those things are?
Yeah, tell us about your podcast and all the new things that you're doing.
Yeah, so the podcast is now called 5 to Thrive. It was the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast.
Yeah.
Rebranding it to meet a little more with Quantum 5's brand. The Fixed Ops Mastermind Leaders Group, our Tuesday night group, stays the same. That name will stay with us.
Good.
And that's really the group that brought us together, right? And has helped. It's done so much more than I ever expected it to do. It has brought a lot of people together and just made connections within this industry with people that I would have never had the opportunity to meet.
Absolutely. And
any
because of
other
that,
way.
I've met those people too. Charity has met those people.
Yeah. It's all a circle of friends now.
Exactly.
So, Dave, tell us if anything has changed between the transition from Fixed Ops Mastermind to Fixed Ops, or to
5 to Thrive.
5 to Thrive.
Yeah, so the only thing that's changed really is the name.
Okay.
We changed it. Fixed Ops Mastermind, obviously, it's Fixed Ops.
Right.
It was Fixed Ops focused, even though I had a ton of other different guests on there.
Yeah.
Right? I had everybody from astronomers to psychologists and obviously fixed ops people.
Although I got a lot out of that.
I
too.
did too.
Yeah, and that's I always tried to tie it back to our industry, right? But now what you also had was, though, in trying to do that, is a lot more explanation and trying to get guests.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, what is fixed ops and what do I have to do with the automotive industry at all?
Yeah.
You know?
True.
So now with the new rebrand, it opens that up a little bit more. It'll be a little bit easier to get our guests. To bring them on, to tie it back to Quantum 5 with the 5 brand, and got a lot of different 5 questions to ask people.
I love it.
To tie that in.
When I first met Charity, and I first met Dave, he was a fixed ops director for an automotive group, and now he's vice president of Quantum 5. Dave, tell us a little bit about that transition.
Yeah.
That's huge. Congrats.
It's been an interesting transition, and obviously I spent 30 plus years in the dealerships. I love the dealerships. I also love being out of the dealerships.
Yeah.
it's that day-to-day operation that you have. It's obviously it's great to always be learning something new. You get to the point where inside the dealership, not that you're not learning anything, but obviously there's a lot of stuff that's repetitive. It's a lot of another one of those type of situations and things, right? So it was the opportunity to join Quantum and be part of a growing movement in something that's going to change the way that people train within their dealerships.
Huge.
Is just it's incredible, right? I've said. As Sean Welsh has said for a long time, that I want to leave the industry better than I found it, and this gives me that opportunity to have a little bit bigger impact than I did, within 5, 6, 7 stores. Now I can get out more.
I don't think, we had Kaylee on a little while ago, and with all the people, there's a much bigger emphasis the last few years since COVID on fixed operations, rightly so. And even though Charity and we talk about all the things we do, it's still all about people.
Absolutely.
And I mean, if you think about, if somebody leaves for $3 or $4 an hour, first of all, they were already thinking about leaving there and happy. But if they're not, and you're taking care of your people, a lot of the challenges that we have in fixed operations today at the dealership level or can be solved by taking care of your people.
Yeah.
1,000%.
I have a question for you that came to my head. So if I say the industry still has a lot of growing to do, would you agree or disagree with that?
I would. Is there a highly agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's
somewhat agree, or absolutely off the charts.
Yeah, absolutely off the
Okay.
charts agree.
Yeah.
This industry still has a ton of growth ahead of it. It's an industry where you can get into it without a ton of education,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
nobody requiring a master's degree for you to come and join the automotive industry. That works for us to help to attract people.
Yeah.
It works against us once they're in the industry and we're not giving them more training
Yeah.
because they start to look at it as, well, I get in here and I didn't even graduate high school and I get in here. Why would I need to learn more?
Yeah.
Why do I need to go any further?
Yeah.
And we need to get by that mindset. I heard Joe St. John talking on the live stage on Thursday, and one of the things he said was that the research shows that your average customer does 14 hours of research before they come in to buy a car.
Wow.
Right? 14 hours.
That's a lot.
How many hours of training did that salesperson that's going to handle that customer do in the previous 30 days?
None.
None.
Right? Not like that.
Right,
anyway.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, there's probably 3 to 5%, but in any industry. But
Right.
for the most part, those customers know more than.
Exactly, right? And
That's right.
So for the 30 days previous, that's all that customer was doing, was focusing their energy
Yeah.
on learning
Yes.
and understanding what they wanted.
Yes.
Right? That salesperson, that service advisor, that service manager should be doing the same thing. Right? And that never ends. That never ends.
No.
That is a funnel you can keep pouring into and stuff will keep coming out the bottom.
Right.
Right? There's always more to learn.
Well, and we know the ones that get it, that are continually pouring back into and holding people accountable and finding out what makes them tick, because everybody's different. They learn in different ways. They're
Exactly.
motivated and inspired in different ways.
Right.
I've said this many times. Managers, there's a lot of managers out there, and they're really good at lighting a fire underneath those people, but leaders light a fire inside of people, and that's a huge difference.
That is a huge difference. Yeah, and that's where a lot of focus is starting to happen is in the leadership. Right? We've
Yes.
spent a lot of time talking about the training that service advisors need, and then we let other managers above them chase them out of the industry.
I mean,
Right?
Yeah.
It's how many times do we need to hear a survey say that people don't leave for that $3 to $4 an hour? They leave because they didn't like the manager that was
Right.
they were working for, right?
Right.
They're
And
unhappy.
that's a lot of different ways. That's a lot of ways that comes
Right.
across. It's not necessarily I don't like you.
Right.
It's not that way.
No, no.
It's I don't like something that's going on. I don't like that I give ideas or have ideas that I don't feel I can
Right.
share. It's
And,
They're
you know,
voting with their feet.
absolutely.
I think sometimes it's an important part of the learning process, because I have been one of those people that left for money when I was really happy where I was at.
Yeah.
It was a great opportunity. I did learn a lot, but I almost lost my family and my sanity too,
There you go.
and moved back. And I learned that way back then. And
Yeah.
for those that you're thinking about that kind of stuff, really double check and see what's going on. Talk to somebody you trust and you believe in that'll steer you right. Because if you're thinking about leaving for just a few dollars an hour more, there's more to it than that. Why don't we talk about what those things are first before you decide to cut and run? Because you'll end, yeah.
Yeah. Figure out why you want to leave somewhere.
Right.
Because it really very, very rarely is it ever that money.
Right.
Sometimes it may be.
It is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it truly may be that you're leaving
But
for a
once
better
again,
money
it's that 1 to
opportunity.
3, yeah.
Exactly. It's a small percentage.
it is.
Right? So figure out what actually drives you. Right? That's what people really need to understand is what is it? I'm unhappy here. Why am I unhappy here? What is it about this culture that isn't feeding me?
Right.
Right? And
Right.
and until you understand that about yourself, it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah.
You're always going to have something to be unhappy about.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Your problems follow you no matter
absolutely.
what. Yeah. Well, you're here today at NADA to share, that with the world. So, if people want to get a hold of you, Dave, or they want to be on the podcast, or however you do it, why don't you tell them how to do that?
Yeah, so you can go right to Quantum 5's website. It's quantum5.ai. You can go. There's a mastermind link there to sign up. Obviously, you can find me on LinkedIn and send me a message, and we'll work on getting that scheduled up. And happy to talk to anybody at
All
any
right.
time.
Well, listen, and if you can't remember all that, reach out to Cherry and I.
It'll
Heck,
be in the description.
Yeah, heck, if you're here right now, they're right there. They're right there next door.
We're neighbors.
It doesn't get any better than that. No, Dave, listen,
Yeah.
you inspire and motivate, and you've been such an important part of Cherry and I's growth and the company as a whole. And we're just so grateful and appreciative to you.
Yes.
As
Thank you
am
very
I.
much.
As am I.
Thank you
It's,
very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dave.
Yes, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Another short one here, 2023, Dave Foy.
Woohoo!